I'm Jonathan Randall, and welcome to another episode of How You Like Me Now. This Thursday at 7 o'clock, I'm actually doing a comedy show at P&T Knitwear, a bookstore on the Lower East Side at 180 Orchard Street. It's a new show that I'm experimenting with. Everybody's invited to come out. The show is completely free. I got some of my comedian buddies coming down. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got Ashley Austin Morris. I got Joey Gay. I got E-Man Morgan. I got Ryan DeCalis. They're all super funny comedians, and they're all really good people and friends of mine, and I'm really excited to get them all together to do some stand-up comedy. I'm experimenting with the show, trying to figure out like exactly what I want it to be, but it's definitely going to be a good time. So I hope people will come on out. It's this Thursday, May 25th, 7 o'clock, P&T Knitwear, 180 Orchard Street. Hope to see everybody there. All right, so I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again, but I think that, earbuds are horrible inventions, and the reason why I think they are is because now we have a bunch of people walking around, having conversations, hands-free, with zero consideration for anybody around them, and for some reason, I don't know what it is about earbuds that makes people want to be so damn loud. Like, I'm always loud. It doesn't matter if I got earbuds or not, and I actually don't like earbuds. Ever since I got earbuds, I've been listening to music so much less, but I find that when people put earbuds in their ears, all of a sudden, they are, like, speaking so loudly, like they don't understand that it could still pick up their voice even if they talk in like their regular tone, but they feel like they gotta raise up the volume, and it shows a total lack of self-awareness and consideration for anybody around them, and I think it's fucking horrible. I really hate it. I was at my beloved Elizabeth Street Garden the other day, and there's some guy just walking out the garden, walking his dog, talking on earbuds, and he's like basically screaming in his earbuds and like totally disrupting the serenity of the garden, totally disrupting the peace of the garden. It's just like everywhere in the garden, people could hear this guy having a conversation, and it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I don't know what it is about earbuds that makes people not only want to talk loudly, but have conversations about things that they shouldn't be talking about in public. People are having these conversations about things that they should not only be at home when they have these conversations, they should be like locking themselves in their closet when they have these conversations, but some reason they put in the earbuds and they start talking to their friend, and it's like there's nobody else in the world around them, and it's kind of like the worst. It's like, I don't want to hear what you're talking about. I don't want to hear about your love life. I don't want to hear about your family. I don't want to hear any of your personal shit, all right? Keep it to yourself. I'm sorry, but like nobody cares. And for people just to be like walking around in earbuds having these conversations is absolutely the worst. Don't do that. Don't be like these idiots. And I feel like that's the worst thing about earbuds. I don't think people realize it. They thought, oh, this would be a great thing. People will be able to be hands-free. But nobody realized that everybody's just going to be running around having conversations at the top of their lungs, not caring about anybody else around them, and totally like disrupting everybody else's life or just like peace or day or anything with like forcing their conversation upon other people. It sucks, and I hate it, and don't do it, and stop. I went to go see a screening the other day of this movie, a great documentary called Boycott. Before I get into talking about the movie, though, I got to talk about something that happened in the movie. So I get to the movie, they say, oh, make sure to get to the screening 15 minutes early. And I was like, all right, it might be crowded. I want to make sure to get a good seat. I'll get there a little bit early. I get there. There's basically no one at the screening. There are very few people there. To say that there were 20 people there is probably me being generous. There's probably maybe like 15 people there. I don't know. Anyways, we're at the screening. Unfortunately, there were not more people there. I wish there would have been more people there because it was a really great movie. But anyways, I sit down. There's a whole empty row. I sit right in the middle of the row. I'm like, all right, waiting for the movie to start. It's supposed to start at like 4 o'clock. It's like 4:05. It hasn't started. Then some lady comes and she's like, oh, is anyone sitting here? Do you mind if I sit next to you? I'm like, no. Or like, no one's sitting there. Go ahead. She sits down. She starts talking to me. This woman smelled horrible, like so bad. Like I don't even know what happened in our conversation because I was like accosted by her scent. Like it was disgusting. Like I was just like, what have I done to deserve this? Like like, what do I do at this point? Do I move? That's kind of rude, right? Then to like get up and like move to another seat. I didn't know what to do. This lady, she did not have good like sense of like base boundaries. Like, I feel like she was putting her elbow over the seat. Like, she was like coughing. This lady was disgusting. She almost ruined this whole screening for me. But like, what do you do in that situation? Like, should I have just got up and moved to another seat? Should I have said, excuse me, miss, but you smell absolutely horrible? Like, is that mean to do that? Or is that like nice to tell her, to let her know, so maybe she could start having like better hygiene? And it was like, this was like a young woman where there's no reason why she should have like been so horrible, but it was really disgusting. Like, sitting next to this girl was one of the most unpleasant experiences I've had in recent history. You know what? It was one of the most unpleasant experiences I had in my life. It was so disgusting. If you're going out somewhere, especially where you're gonna be surrounded by people, like, be a little conscious of like your body. Make sure maybe you take a shower. Like, if you're going to a theater and you're gonna like be sitting next to people, like, don't stink. All right, it's really inconsiderate. Have some self-awareness again of your body. I was talking about self-awareness of your voice earlier. Now I'm talking about self-awareness of your smells, so that you are considerate to other people around you, because you don't like. I felt like I was like being held hostage by this woman's disgusting scent, and it was absolutely atrocious. Anyways, I went to go see this documentary for this film Boycott, which was very interesting. So the Boycott movie is about how basically in like 2015, 35 states, they passed laws intending to silence boycotts of Israel and other nonviolent means of protest against Israel's human rights violations. And these anti-boycott bills, they remove legal protection that has already been rewarded for boycotts for generations, and it grants the government the power to condition jobs on political viewpoints. So in recent years, actually, legislators have started to use these laws, these anti-boycott Israel laws, as templates for wider attacks on Americans' ability to boycott, whether it's boycotting fossil fuels, whether it's boycotting the firearms industry, whether it's boycotting companies that fail to offer reproductive health services, or if it's boycotting companies that fail to meet workplace diversity criteria. So first of all, it's absolutely insane that a job could be like, oh, you can't do this job unless you agree that you'll never boycott Israel. It's very bizarre that this is even a thing. And actually in the documentary, they explain how Israel found a loophole. You see, like, Israel isn't supposed to like give money to organizations to like push their lobbyists to get like laws like this. But what they did is Israel created another organization that they funnel the money through, and then that organization gives money to all these other organizations that then lobby for these kind of laws. One of them is called ALEC, one of these lobbying groups. So that's crazy, because actually Israel is paying money so these American organizations will then create laws that take away our rights, America's rights, like in the First Amendment, which is crazy. And it's like a little weird. You know, people always say that like this thing of anti-Semitism is this dual loyalty that Jewish people have in America to Israel. And that's something that is, often cited as anti-Semitic. But as Israel is paying money to lobbyist groups to take away America's freedom, like, that is absolutely insane. That is like a weird thing where people are giving their allegiance more to Israel than to the Constitution, than to the rights of America. And that is like horrible and absolutely crazy. This documentary is really good. I totally recommend it. Everyone should check it out. It is called Boycott. It's a fantastic documentary. It follows these three people as, either they lose their jobs or they stop getting paid for their jobs because they refuse to sign this thing that they will never boycott Israel. And most of the people in this documentary, they're like, we don't care about boycotting Israel. That's not a thing. But we're not giving up our right to boycott. Like, that is one of the freedoms that we have in America. And it makes no sense that, someone will say, oh, well, you can't have this job unless you promise that you'll never boycott Israel. And it's absolutely insane. It's insane that America lets Israel find this loophole where they're funding these organizations that are pushing the Israeli narrative and that are taking away American freedoms. And it's absolutely atrocious. Speaking of boycotts, by the way, I was just found out today that Apple Music and Spotify have both removed the song Dammi Falastini, which means My Blood is Palestinian. And the song is from a singer, a Palestinian singer from Gaza named Mohammed Asaf, because they say it's an incitement against Israel. Now, the song does not mention Israel. It does not mention Zionism. It does not mention Jews. The song is about Palestinian culture and identity, but for some reason, I guess a Jewish group collected like 4,000 signatures. They wanted the song off those platforms. They want to get rid of the songs. That's how threatened Zionists are by Palestinian, that even their songs they want to get rid of. It's absolutely crazy. They want to remove Palestinians from their homes. They want to rewrite the history of the occupation and the forced displacement of the Palestinian people, and they even want to take away their music. So if you're wanting to boycott something right now, it seems like Spotify or Apple Music is the way to go to boycott that, because that's crazy that they took off this song. The song's very popular to Palestinians. This song means a lot to Palestinians. There aren't a lot of Palestinian songs that I know of. This is probably one of the most famous Palestinian pop culture songs right now. Apparently, people play it a lot in weddings and events. And people are really upset that, like, even the song is being taken away. Even a song that has nothing to do with mentioning Israel or Zionism or Judaism is being called out that of being anti-Semitic just because it wants to celebrate Palestinian culture, Palestinian identity. And I mean, no wonder these people are so frustrated. Like, they can't even have a song about them. You know, they get their homes taken away. They have, their family members put in jail or killed. They have their homes destroyed, and then a song, music. They can't even have music. It's absolutely atrocious. I hope Spotify and Apple puts the music back on. It's just a song, and it's really, got to stop allowing Zionists and Israelis to weaponize anti-Semitism to silence people or silence things that they don't want to hear and silence agendas that they don't care for. It's really atrocious, and it's really horrible. Okay, moving on. Last week, an Israeli defense minister issued an order to allow Israelis to return to the illegal Homesh outpost and prevent the Palestinian owners of the land from getting access to it, so settlers can again build a more formal settlement there. For those that don't know, Homesh was evacuated in 2005. According to an Israeli court, they decided that that was private Palestinian land. They ordered it to be evacuated. People still kept the yeshiva there. They allowed the yeshiva to stay there, even though the court said that this was private Palestinian land. I guess there are some plots of land right next to the land that's private Palestinian land that they say is Israeli state land, that they want to have, this new illegal outpost built there. But this is crazy. Why are we continuing settler expansion? Why are we continuing to build more outposts with everything when tensions are rising and things are so bad, and Israel saying oh no, they want peace. The only people that are standing in the way of peace are the Palestinian people. Yeah, and maybe the people that are standing in the way of peace too are these illegal settlers that are encroaching on Palestinian land and continue to do so. That absolutely has to stop. It absolutely has to end. And it's just absolutely insane that people want to continuously call out Palestinians, blame Palestinians, instead of blaming settlers and illegal outposts like this. I guess the U.S. issued something saying that they shouldn't do this. They criticized it, that they shouldn't be building more settlements, that they already agreed not to. But criticism means nothing. What we got to do in America, if we want Israel to stop expanding settlements and stop provoking Palestinians in this manner, is we need to stop funding Israel. And we need to say, hey, if you guys want our money, this is what we got to do. We got to create a Palestinian state, and we got to finally free Palestine. All right, just checking out what else I want to get. This is according to Yesh Din. I just wanted to read this about it. According to Yesh Din, the entry, which is, by the way, Yesh Din is I'm sorry, I'm starting this part again. It's a little hot in here. There's no air conditioning in the studio today. And my throat is so dry. I don't know what's going on. I have like the driest throat. It's horrible. I didn't even like smoke any weed to get dry throat. I just have it. But anyways, according to Yesh Din, which is an Israeli organization, the entry of Israelis into the area is an additional tool in the expulsion of residents from their lands. The process of authorizing the outpost is a prize and an incentive for criminals and a violation of international law. Okay? That's coming from an Israeli organization. Homesh should not exist as an outpost. It definitely should not exist in the future as a settlement. That is Palestinian land, and Israel needs to leave that land for the Palestinians. All right, we already said what the Biden administration criticized about it. Oh, everybody's favorite member of the government that has been convicted of terrorism and racism, Itamar Ben-Gvir, is back in the news because once again, he went into Al-Aqsa, and this time he declared that he's in charge. Yeah, that's a great way to ease tensions after your ridiculous nationalist flag march that had a bunch of Israelis running through the streets screaming and cursing out Arabs and screaming like death to Arabs and all that crap. Let's just go back into, what you call the Temple Mount, into the Al-Aqsa area. And Jews are not supposed to be praying in there. That was kind of the agreement that was made. That Muslims could pray. I guess Israelis can visit, but they're not supposed to pray. But what they do is they still pray. The military doesn't care. They break into the Al-Aqsa area. They're under protection from the Israeli military. And then instead of having a prayer book, they just use their phone to pray. That's what Itamar Ben-Gvir did. And that's what they keep doing. And it provokes Palestinians. It provokes Arabs everywhere because this is a very important site for them. I know it's an important site for the Jews too, but we can't use religion for political means. And it's just gonna the more we try to enter Al-Aqsa, the more that we allow settlers to enter Al-Aqsa, the more that Jews try to pray and disrespect Al-Aqsa, which is how Muslims see it, the more trouble that we're going to get. So it's crazy. Itamar Ben-Gvir has got to go. It's ridiculous that he's even a member of the Israeli government. I can't stand him. I talk on multiple times about how horrible he is. And yeah, he's an idiot. So let's see. So far, just like in the last week, we have, this idiot provoking by breaking into Al-Aqsa and saying that he's in charge and, praying there even though he's not supposed to. We have the flag march where there's a video everywhere of Israelis saying death to Arabs and F you to Arabs and cursing out Arabs and saying we're going to kill you guys and all that. And they're trying to build more settlements on Palestinian land, but somehow Israel is the one that's trying to get peace, and it's only the Palestinians that are in the way. No, can't you see these things are directly in the way of peace? And if Israel really cared about peace, they would prevent people from doing this, whether it was, the march through the Muslim quarter. They would say, no, you can't do that. Itamar Ben-Gvir, no, don't go. Why isn't Netanyahu and the rest of the government stopping this guy? And why are we saying, no, the Homesh settlement has been evacuated. It needs to stay that way. We need to get rid of the yeshiva on that land, and we need to make sure that it's Palestinian land, and we need to try to move forward in a peaceful way and say, hey, we are making these efforts for peace. But unfortunately, Israel does not want to do that. It wants to continuously oppress, violate Palestinian human rights, and then blame the Palestinians for there not being peace. And I think it is really sad. If you're not following me on social media, please do, at Jonathan Randall across social media. Again, the Randy Hour is the name of the comedy show this Thursday at P&T Knitwear, 180 Orchard Street. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Jonathan Randall. How you like me now?